Let me smash.
We are, all of us, born
No
into a
wrong.
lie. That there are those who are good and those who are evil. But these words mean nothing. In truth, the only measure of a soul is the strength of their will.
Welcome to the Swain Champion Spotlight.
The Swain rework when it first came out was an amazing rework. They built a champion from the ground up that still felt like the old Swain, but reimagined in a way. The skins, the visuals, the idea of the champ was amazing. Sure, it was a bit too strong on some fronts, but it lacked the skill on the other end. While having enough CC and sustain to literally carry the whole team, he lacked mobility and instant burst damage to be a reliable damage dealer. Of course he had burst, but it wasn't as instant as the other mages. While Lux was able to one-shot you with her E or her ult, Swain had to wait a bit to charge his ult up to deal a burst damage. He was tanky enough to stay healthy throughout the fight, and he had enough CC to be viable as a tanky-ish carry. What I mean is, Swain was a different beast that we haven't been seeing for a long time. The closest resemblance to him was Rise, and he was murdered with the item rework. His playstyle was a playstyle that didn't suit other mages, cause Riot hated the idea of tanky mages. Fiddlesticks, Rise, and Lilia were all bullied out of the tanky burst champion, but Swain was pushed more and more into the idea with all the item changes and the support buffs. But now, he sucks. I honestly haven't seen a more incomplete, more confusing, more undeveloped. Can you stop that? What I mean is that ever since the Mundo rework, the reworks are getting more and more stale. More champs are getting only visual reworks, while some are getting buffs as a whole. Talia is an amazing example of this. Her entire kit fits into the Rift more and more, as she isn't stuck to a role anymore. She's greater than ever, but she still lacks the true update she needed. She could have gotten more, but Riot just doesn't care, so all she got was some buffs. While Swain over here became incredibly strong, while limiting him to the one lane he can't abuse this power. Swain's passive got deleted, his E became insanely strong, but what's the point now that he can't pull people who are CC'd? He can only pull with his own CC. And his ult became the most underdeveloped ult of all time. It's incredibly strong, but it makes no sense to be in his kit. It explodes immediately, but Swain was all about building up to that burst, not having it from the start. Swain became a mess with this rework. I am honestly scared for the future of reworks, since so many of my favorite champions are under the radar for a rework. Void champions like Cho'Gath and Vel'Koz, to Victor thanks to Arcane, and now with the Udyr rework alongside the Skarner rework, both being a favorite pick for jungle, I'm scared. They're still the most excited rework since the polls, and honestly with the Swain and the Mundo rework, I am thinking they're going to be an overwhelming mess. Swain and Mundo were both assassinated with their reworks. Mundo literally becoming a sexy himbo, and Swain becoming a burst mage, just like the others. They lost their identity. Mundo lost his entire story, while Swain lost his entire gameplay. It has been changed, which is the main thing reworks aren't welcome as they were. Aatrox, Galio, Urgot, and so many more were all changed drastically. And even though I like the new incarnations more than the old ones, they're still changed entirely. With Aatrox's case, no remainder of what the champ used to be. The story is another topic that will be a huge concern among the fanbase. So, Riot, please be very careful with both Udyr and Skarner. You have done some fascinating works in the past. You can do it again.